Call me Ishmael. I am Bjorn Anders. I am the game master of Dice Jailers, and I am the bane of Jordan's existence with bad jokes. My favored terrain is cheap whiskey and dad jokes. Also, an actor and a fight choreographer. I am our go-to game master, not because I'm a control freak. It just so happens I really enjoy doing a shit ton of voices and running multiple NPCs. And when somebody says, somebody should run a game like this, I generally go, yep, I'll do that, and immediately dive into it. It's fun to play characters, but when you are the game master, you get to play all the characters you've ever created little by little. So it's a win-win. Biggest thing I'm excited about is how the building of the world surprised me. It was supposed to be three very distinct nations and how they interacted with each other, and then a fourth one came about, and then sort of a fifth little fledgling type thing that maybe the players will encounter at some point during the story. Who knows? But basically how a world I created is going to surprise me. This is fairly classic high fantasy. If you have seen the movie Willow, you have seen 90% of what drives my brain in things. I have seen that movie more times than anything else. It definitely has your classic Lord of the Rings stuff. I mean, if you're running high fantasy D&D and you say you're not influenced by Lord of the Rings, I don't believe you. However, everything else that goes in there came from talking to my players, where they had ideas for little bits or backstory for their characters, and I went, yep, that's in the world now. So there is black powder, there is steampunk, there is semi-modern technology in this Middle Ages type world. So a lot of everything. I love stage combat. I have a growing collection of swords for the stage. I have been learning to do fake violence that looks kind of realistic for quite a few years, and it's delightful. They say there's a point in the story where words fail, and that's where the violence happens. TTRPG is all about words, and when those words fail, the dice happen. This is me getting to create on stages those moments that would normally be contained to the dice. I've actually thought about this a lot, no joke, and I would absolutely become left-handed if I could in an instant, and it is for the stupidest reason, but it's just because I think Jimi Hendrix is an absolute pinnacle of music. I play the guitar. I'm not even in the same solar system as Jimi Hendrix. Fuck being in the same ballpark, not in the same solar system. But that dude was left-handed, and I think about some of these other like left-handed greats, and I just think it'd be kind of cool. Because every time I meet somebody who's left-handed, I'm like, that's kind of rad. So yeah, I would. Genie lamp, I'd waste that first wish. Left-handed. There will always be a through line for if I'm a player, my character will have some sort of tragedy in their backstory, because it's a wonderful cliche, but I always like it to be something that they have dealt with, so that when there does come the big emotional reveal for them, everyone else at the table will be expecting that to be the core of what their emotions will be. And then I like to flip it on its head. The example I will use briefly, I had a paladin who was the sole survivor of his family, and so it was, you would have thought there'd been the survivor's guilt trauma, and then his big secret was actually that he had a half-brother who was alive, and he had been constantly lying by saying he was the sole survivor of his family. And this overly noble lie was how he protected his brother. And people were like, wow, so your paladin is just that much more of a paladin. I went, yeah. I hope that the players become invested in each other's stories. I want to see them want each other to win, because I think that can be really beautiful if you have two players where their stories have a very, very strong conflict, but they've come to the point that they each want the other one to win, and then one of them has to make a choice. And it's a choice where two people can't have the same thing. And I love those moments because they tell the best stories. The sole thing to know going into this is there are no bad people that you'll meet right away, just bad ideas. Okay, I have been telling this joke for more years than I'm willing to admit, because that will let people know how old I am. I think this is the funniest clean joke in history, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a man named Bubba, and during Bubba's life, he had met everybody. You, me, everyone. Bubba had met everyone, and he can recall everybody he's met. And one day, Bubba's at a new job, and he's out to lunch with his new boss at his new job. And he says to his boss, "Hey, boss, did you know I've met everybody in the world?" And the boss says, "You have not met everyone in the world, Bubba." And Bubba goes, "Sure I have. Go ahead, name anybody." He goes, "What about Tom Cruise? Do you know Tom Cruise, Bubba?" He goes, "Sure I do. Let's go meet him. We were in Cub Scouts together." He goes, "You were not in Cub Scouts with Tom Cruise." He goes, "Sure." So they flying out to Hollywood, and they walking out to his house, knock on the door, and he answers it, and Tom goes, "Bubba!" And Bubba goes, "Tom!" And they catch up for about 10 minutes, and the boss is pretty impressed, but he goes, "Anybody can get one." And he goes, "What about Barack Obama? You ever meet Barack Obama, Bubba?" He goes, "You kidding? Me and Obama were on a debate team together in college." He goes, "You were not on a debate team with Barack Obama, Bubba goes, "Sure I was." So they fly on out, and they walk on up to the Obama's house, and knocks on the door, and he opens it, and Obama goes, "Bubba!" And Bubba goes, "Barack!" And they go and they catch up for about 15 minutes, and the boss is impressed, but he knows he's staying too national. He's got to go global. He goes, "What about the Pope, Bubba? You ever meet the Pope?" And Bubba goes, "You kidding? I was baptized by the Pope." He goes, "You were not baptized by the Pope, Bubba." He goes, "Sure I was. Let's go meet him." So they flying out to Rome, and they go to Vatican City, and the Pope's about to speak, and they can't really move through the crowd together. And Bubba turns to his boss. He goes, "Boss, you stay here, and I'm going to go through the crowd, and then I'll go up there, and I'll give you some sort of sign that I know the Pope." The boss goes, "All right." And he's waiting, and he's waiting, and he's waiting, and he's waiting, and he's about to leave when suddenly, sure enough, out walks Bubba and the Pope, and they got their arm around each other, and shortly after that, the boss faints. Well, Bubba makes his way all the way back down. He finds his boss, and he's tapping him on the side of the face, and he goes, "Boss, are you all right?" And his boss comes around, he goes, "I was okay that you knew Tom Cruise. I was fine with Barack Obama. And hell, Bubba, I could even accept that you knew the Pope. But when some guy standing next to me goes, 'Hey, who's that standing up there with Bubba?' it's a little more than I can take." That is my favorite joke. That's a good question. I think as a player, I bring the catalyst. If people are sitting around faffing about and no one can make a decision, I am always playing the character that is willing to kick the door down to see what's on the other side of it. Or if I'm a mage, I'll magically open the door to see what's on the other side of it. If I'm the skill monkey, I will pick the lock to see what's on the other side of it. But when it gets to, we've been planning what we're going to do for 45 minutes, and I know that the first roll of the dice is going to change all of our plans, I will set the plan in motion, because stories aren't made when you sit around and do nothing. As the game master, what I bring is a willingness to let my players fail forward if they fail, and to always honor their agency. Oh, good gods. So, I will admit this. We have one player I don't know very well. I cannot say what Alex is going to bring to this. They have been recommended very highly, and that's good enough for me. Monica, I have run things for very little, and I know they are willing to go down the path for stories that just hurt in the best way. And I'm excited for that. Just a rawness, and what happens, happens. Jordan is when you throw a full bag of Pop Rocks into a can of Coke. Just let's see what happens. And it's gonna be chaos, it's gonna be messy, but you can't say it wasn't fun. And it probably wasn't as dangerous as you were led to believe it would be. And Jamie is gonna bring absolute authenticity. She does not waver from her character and from her character's motivations. And if that means making a choice that is going to make things harder for the players mechanically in the game, she will honor the story. That completely depends on which of the nations you are in. The central nation is completely high magic. The one to the far east, I'm not going to get to the nuts and bolts of the names right now, is fairly low magic, as well as the kind of the fourth one that came about where I went, oh, we have this now, as well as the very fledgling nation. Those are low magic, but are working to ramp their way very quickly into high magic. And then the one along the west, they kind of sit firmly in the middle, as they are kind of meant to be our balancing point. There are. It's cliche as all get out, but I do take a lot of inspiration from Matthew Mercer. I fell in love with watching Critical Role because of how he runs his games. I like the freedom he gives his players. I love the just incomplete immersion he has in his NPCs. However, I have more and more come to fall in love with Abria Iyengar's style of running things, because she is so chaotic, but never lets it, in my opinion, stray from the game. Somebody makes some offhanded joke and she goes, nope, that's happening now, let's do it. She will sacrifice mechanics for the name of fun. She inserts the rule of cool into running a game, which I don't feel like you see enough. Usually the rule of cool is just applied to the players, whereas she goes, nope, that sounds rad, let's see what happens to it, and we're rolling for it, and whatever happens, happens. Like, she, I get the vibe, does not care from a mechanical standpoint who lives and who dies. And that's cool. I don't feel like she's going to save any of her players because, oh, they made a whoopsie decision. It's like, well, fuck around and find out. Go give someone a crisp high five.